Give me a bit, please. Okay. We always get an inkling that something just isn't right about our lives. Once in a while we find that. We cannot exactly say what it is. Isn't it right? All the external may look great, yet the internal feeling, we don't know what our internal feeling and how to match our internal feeling with the external feeling. So with that, we'll have next speaker, another encyclopedia, Deepakananji. He has an electrical engineering background, and from the very young age, he wanted to be different. He didn't want to be like everybody else. And he had tons and tons of questions on religion. He was a scholarly person the way he looks like, and he couldn't get answers to many of the puzzles of the world in his life, of course. And then he met again Sri A.M. Patel, and he got all his answers and his questions very easily, and then he took his initiation with him, and then he decided, oh, this is it, I want to be a free bird, I want to go around the world and get people happy, and I also want to impart the holistic science so people can become happy. He's traveled all over the world, and he travels extensively in India when he's in India. And again, challenges will come in the afternoon when we start questioning him and see how encyclopedia knowledge he has on everyday life. With that, I would like to welcome Deepakananji.
Thank you, Rajni bhai. You know, the biggest surprise, the way he introduced me, and there is a lot of meaning behind it. I definitely wanted to be different from the rest, but then I found that I am like every one of you. So now I started looking each one of you as me only. So I have no problem dealing with anyone to the best of my knowledge and understanding. And this is the biggest experience I had. After coming across this sign. Yeah. So we are going now further into detail that discovering the world within. We all know the world outside. We are very much aware of the outside world. Now, it is only the holistic science which really gets into our inner world and explains exactly what happens inside, and that's how we can manage ourselves. Sorry for that again. So this holistic science basically is about the science of our relative life. Why we say this as relative life? Because it is changing. What was yesterday is not today. What will be tomorrow is not today. The moment before never comes again. And the real being, see, the relative life and real being, so that state of being as I am refers to ourself, but we are not aware of that. This science pinpoints ourself, who we are really. And the science of the relative temporary life and living and the perpetual real being. I am going to die. That's what we say, but that I never dies. That is the biggest secret and real secret of our life. There is also a saying, unless the known is known, you cannot know anything. And this science pinpoints us to that knower who we are, so everything gets known automatically. Just a brief information, currently there is one person looked up in the 14 most popular word on Merriam-Webster.com is on holistic. So everybody is now going to that holism so that everyone gets into it. It means complete, absolute, and full. So let's explore now how can we do that. See, basically we talk about discovering. So what does this discovery mean? Actually, it's a first-hand experience from one who has experienced that, and that only can give us the right direction. Well, we know all about the world. It is the universe we're talking about. And how about the inner world? One of the wonderful holistic revelation is the outside world is a dictator picture of the inside world. So whatever we come across outside is nothing but what is inside. So we don't really have to worry about what happens outside because it is simply what is inside. And the holistic science opens our vision to see inside, our inside. So we will quickly go through some of the revelations, and that will open us that inner vision. What we see outside as nature is total reflection of what is inside, and that too the human form. So the saying says like this: the more abnormality in basic human living form, the more abnormality in nature. Such abnormality in human nature relationship is how we experience changes in nature. So we talk about El Nino effect and all these unusual weather problems. It's all because of human projection. So if it is raining, we may say, oh come on, now it should not rain. Those farmers, they want the rain to happen. So all these conflicting projections, they go into the nature, and that's how it creates conflict in the nature. Let's go further. Human nature relationship balances because the requirement of one is to supply the other, and the requirement of other is to supply the one. What it means, we expel carbon dioxide and we inhale oxygen, whereas the plants take in carbon dioxide and they expel oxygen. So if there is no balance between these two, the nature is going to be disturbed. So that's how they say Green Revolution, and those people are working hard on that. But here, a good insight we get. Further, we talk about happiness. Real research search for happiness in life is not to build opinions, this way or that way, or by building definite opinions about happiness. Everyone believes that I'll be happy if I do this, I'll be happy if I get that, but that is personal opinion, and true happiness lies in the fact how can you be totally free from opinion. So the holistic science frees us from every kind of opinion, and still it helps us how to deal with every situation that we come across in life. So true freedom lies in to be opinion free. Egoism itself is not bad, but the harm that egoism entails is damaging. One must be very vigilant about that. When one begins to understand what great damage egoism causes, that very experience is a state of development. So here Normally everyone talks that egoism is bad. But you know, Lord Krishna was also egoistic, but his egoism was positive. He wanted to be positive in the sense he wanted to be helpful to everyone. And he was helpful to everyone, even when he killed his own uncle, maternal uncle, he did help him, because if he helped him live further, he would have done more harm to himself than to the society. That is why we see that when he passes away, in his last moment, he thanks Lord Krishna that you relieved me of further damage. So here we have to understand how we can have a positive egoism. At the same time, the holistic science help us eliminate that egoism totally. Egoism is born and egoism passes away. We say that the soul is born and soul passes away. Soul never have to be born, because it is birthless, it is perpetual. But it is egoism that is born, and egoism passes away, not the body, and it is egoism that is liberated. So soul need not be liberated at all, because soul is in its bliss now. It was in bliss and it will remain in bliss. But what we need to experience is our inner bliss in the presence of all these disturbing situations of our life. So that's what it is. Every individual is independent. Though related, temporary relations are dramatic in nature, reality is within the permanent pure soul self, not in temporary relations. As Dr. Mehta said, that all these temporary relations are nothing but they ask for adjustment from our side. So any adjustment, not that, dramatic adjustment is necessary. And one who has learned this novel idea of adjustment, he can manage any situation, anytime, and that's how he lives his life perfectly. To me, wherever there is life, to me means the holistic scientist who has this vision of holism. For him, wherever he sees life, he sees God. In each individual soul, I experience oneness everywhere, and therefore I cannot insult myself. How can I hurt anyone when I am one with all? So all these relations are temporary adjustment. This is the self-realized experience state. To see and experience your own self in everyone, in every living being. And once you get into this science, we realize that, we experience that, and we live that life. We had heard all this time about goodness and all whatnot, but this is such a principle we can practice. The reason is you have the living holistic scientists and people who have this vision, so it becomes very easy for you to live that life. Nowadays we hear a lot about cancer. So anything that is related to our body has direct connection with the food we eat. There is a lot of ignorance in the food intake, because with all the processed foods around, you go to any Walmart, Kmart, whatever, the food shops over here, you'll find so many processed food. The lifestyle today has become such that you have to go for processed food sometime or the other. We also see even the little kids, they are fed with juices which are packed. Now, is it necessary? Is it necessary? When you have the fruits at home, why do you want to burden your young born kid with that stuff? But that's the lifestyle. And that is the reason we are having cancer cases all around. So if that right understanding is acquired through this holistic science, our food pattern will change, and it will definitely change our thinking and our life also. It is a great joy to live our life laughing at our own self. Did we ever laugh at our own self? Do we ever laugh at ourselves? It's so easy to laugh at someone else, but it is only this great science. Why or when do we laugh at ourselves? When we come across any odds in life, I realize through this science that it is my own reflection. So I laugh at myself. What a silly mistake I committed. That someone else has to come in front of me and pay back my suffering, pay back my mistake. So it would be wise on my part that I stop committing this mistake so that someone else doesn't have to bear the burden of committing mistake with me. Because today I'll be suffering, but whatever he or she has become instrument for my suffering today, she or he will be punished by the nature. So if I don't commit any mistake, there won't be anyone for me who can be an instrument for my punishment. Whole nature is nothing but reflection of human ego in various forms that we talked about in the very first aphorism. Look around and what do you see? Different forms. This is a wonderful revelation. What we see around, we see the plant, this is animals, these are people. But for him, the holistic scientist, what he sees around, he sees suffering all around. Every individual is what? Nothing but suffering. What he suffers and passes through his life through this body. So we have to analyze and understand all these and research, because these are outcome of deep thinking about nature and living, and it is brought to us. So now, if we really have to understand that, we have to self-analyze this. A wonderful revelation. An incident has so many causes. Let's take this gathering today. This was going on probably from a few months. So many people wanted to come, many of them could not have come. All who have come here, when all other circumstances were favorable, that you could make it. Any one missing circumstance, and this cannot happen. Same way, accident also has several causes. But here it is identified when too many causes come together, an accident takes place. So for any incident to happen, very many causes have to be there. But when too many causes come together, that's how accident takes place. So many times we cannot really justify any accident, but you look around who is suffering, and that's where whoever who suffers, it is his fault. So life is nothing but full of incidents only. And if you have learned to manage and handle these incidents, you are excellent. You cannot change any happening, but when it is your choice to change while you are breathing, make best of it by resolving and pray. What it means, I cannot change outside. That is my behavior, my talking, what others do. But till I am breathing, what I can do is resolve, correct myself, and pray for these changes. Do not dwell on happening, but dwell on this. So the holistic scientist tells us to dwell on our inside projections and prayers and our decisions. And what I think so, you have been given the foldouts, the handouts, and in that this rich inner projection is also there. And the best age for attaining perpetual happiness is the youth. But it is unfortunate that very less number of youth normally attend to such programs. The only reason is because they look at us, the elders, and they are very much disappointed with the way we live. So they feel that these things we need to learn at a later part of our life. But in fact, before we incur great loss or damage to ourselves, if we have known how to live our life, then our old age will never come. We come across old age because what we messed around during our younger age, younger years, that's how we come across the old age. And the holistic scientist has said for himself that he prayed the same way what he has given us in the 9 diamonds, 40 years of his life. And that's how he said that this vision opened within him. So even we, if we follow these prayers, we can see a different person within us in just 6 months. But we need to do that continuously from inside. The way that we tell is holding the thing in the hand. You already have it with you.
In the package. It's in the package.
Yeah. So the way we drive on the road, there is every tendency that you will go out of the lane. But you continuously watch yourself, and that's how you remain within the lane. You follow the markers, you follow the signs, and you reach your destination. And the government, the researchers, they brought out the GPS. Now the GPS is there in our iPhones and Android phones, so you don't have to worry, but that's how they guide us. Same way, the way we need guidance while driving, we need guidance while we are living, and the guidance we get it through the holistic science. We will talk about the inner self and outer self. Now, the outside body, what we see, is nothing but total machinery. And same way, inside also, it works in a similar way. The outside function is the speech function, what people can listen to, and our behavior, what people can see. And inside, we have these 4 faculties inside. The inner speech is also one of it, but we take it on the side of the speech side. That is inner speech and outer speech. We have mind that thinks. We have intellect that comprehends and makes decisions. Definite functionality are assigned to these aspects. Reflective consciousness has job to give real picture, tangible picture of the situation. And egoism is forever does ego of what that doesn't belong to him, that which he doesn't do, but always claims that I am the doer. And a wonderful holistic revelation here is speech, inner and outer, both are a mere tape record. What it means, it is a recorded tape, so there is no way you can change anybody's tape now. But if he re-records it now by feeling sorry and inner projection, the tape changes. So we will see how the holistic scientist lives his life with perfect humility with everyone later on. Universal functioning of the inner self. We will quickly go through it. This science has revealed the science of circumstances. Like how it is said, when so many circumstances come together as causes, a thing happens. When too many things come, it's an accident that happens. So it says you change your understanding, the behavior will change automatically. I give you a very brief instance of what happened to me. In my 9th grade, I miserably failed, and my brother was always doing good, standing first or second in the class. So they got opportunity to pounce on me. So no one skipped this opportunity. Everyone really gone, and they really insulted me so very badly. But because I had a living example in front of me, and that was a real great motivation for me, I thought, if my brother can do it, why can't I? The same way, when we have a living example of a holistic scientist here, if he can do it, why can't we? He also has the same blood, same body. He's a human being. We are also human. So this decision led the change, started the chain which ended I became an electrical engineer effortlessly. Really, really. So when you know the science, things will happen effortlessly. The whole world And the happening or the running of the world takes place by instrument and instrumentality aspect within us. The instruments are outside, and those projections are our instrumentality aspect within us that we come across different situations. Otherwise, I can just give you one very good instance what my friend did as my colleague. He had decided that I will marry the girl without seeing her. Because if I see her and if she rejects me, I don't like it. But his father-in-law was worried that how is this guy accepting the marriage proposal without seeing my daughter? Dear, Mr. Sheshadri and Mrs. Sheshadri. He told me about that. Please give me this opportunity to introduce yourself. He's there. It's a rare happening because today the kids are so much worried about knowing each other, they didn't even see each other. Practically, they did not even see each other. But then because his father-in-law was very much insistent on that, he said, okay, I'll come. It's a great thing. They have a successful life. Okay, so we talked about the power of decision. And it is holistic scientists which has brought about a wonderful thing that what we decide in our life, it happens. Just imagine we have so many clothes in our wardrobe, but you decided to wear this particular one and that's how you are here with that. You decided to come here and every other thing was favorable, you are here. Same way, every happening, your vote of decision has played, your ace card of your decision has made all the difference. And that is life. It is said that the holistic scientist spends and conducts his life with total mindfulness. I am sure everyone who drives is totally mindful about the road. His speed, the signboard and everything. But slowly we have to learn to be mindful about our own life, especially eating. The stomach doesn't have any senses to identify whether we are eating sour, sweet, bitter, nothing of that sort, but it's only your tongue. So, for us to be healthy, they say that if you are very mindful when you are eating, you will live a healthy life. So he has said that you are so and so responsible for yourself and no one else. Many a time we blame others for our happening, for our suffering or even our success. But truly speaking, we are whole and so responsible for ourselves. This needs to be researched by every one of us. We feel that we were given birth by our parents. That's true. There is a lot of truth outside. But truly, we conceive ourselves while we are living. And that's how, depending upon those projections, we come across those appropriate parents, and that's how we are born in that particular family. So here, a wonderful revelation is given by the holistic scientist. He says, what? Because the opinion acts as a father, and language, when the opinions are expressed, acts as a mother. A new mind is born. And the moment your mind is born, the body has to be born. So here he says how he lives his life. He is very vigilant about what is being spoken, because what we speak is going to create and give rise to a new mind. So what he says, the audience, people who listen to him is the audience, the tape record is the speaker, and he remains vigilant on what is being spoken. And wherever he finds any flaw, he keeps correcting himself. So that's how he has